That before, President Obama released a statement on the blocked bids that reads in part, quote, "This obstruction is completely unprecedented. When it comes to judicial nominations, I am fulfilling my constitutional responsibility, but Congress is not. Instead, Senate Republicans are standing in the way of a fully functioning judiciary that serves the American people." And joining me now from Capitol Hill is Republican Senator Chuck Grassley of Iowa. He's the ranking Republican on the Senate Judiciary Committee. Senator, thanks for being here. What's your reaction to what President Obama said?
Well, first of all, he is the first president of the United States to ever vote to filibuster a nominee for the courts. And that's what he did when he was a senator. Secondly, he has nothing to complain about Congress doing its job, the Senate doing its job to confirm, because we have confirmed about 208 judicial nominees of his, and we've only disapproved of 4, and that would be about a 99% approval rating. So I think he has done very well, but there is some place where he's coming up short. And the latest figures now might be a month old, but there are 65 vacancies, and that he hadn't even sent names up to the Hill for us to confirm. And under our Constitution, we can't confirm judges until he nominates them. So he better get on the ball and nominate judges to these courts if he wants us to act faster.
All right, that's a fair point, but let's talk about the D.C.-based appellate court. This is the third time in 3 weeks that you and your Republican colleagues have blocked or used the filibuster, however you want to describe it, to prevent an Obama nominee to the D.C.-based appellate court from coming up for a vote. Why not let them have an up or down vote?
I want you to know that I also did the same thing when there was a President Bush, because I eliminated the 12th seat that was on the court, and Bush wanted to fill that vacancy. And the reason I did that then, and the reason we aren't filling these vacancies now, is because this is the most underworked circuit of the 12 circuits we have in this country. Their caseload on average is only half what it is of the, or their caseload is only half of what it is the average of the other 11 circuits in our country.
I thought I saw some statistics somewhere that said that they actually have a bigger caseload per judge than the 8th Circuit, which serves in Iowa.
Yeah, well, I hope you go back and read my speeches and find out how I use the cases filed and the cases determined. And when you go to the 11 circuits and go to cases filed and cases determined, you'll find out that this caseload is half of the average of the other circuits.
Chief Justice Roberts seems to disagree with you in terms of whether or not the appellate court here in D.C. should have these positions. Wouldn't he know best?
He doesn't know best from this standpoint, that we have letters from judges on that very court that said we don't need any more judges or there wouldn't be enough cases to go around. So I think that the judges on the D.C. Circuit that say that there wouldn't be enough work to go around as more evidence of not filling these seats than what the Chief Justice says, considering the fact that also we're saving $1 million every year for every judge that we don't confirm for a court where those judges aren't needed.
Just a few minutes ago, sir, you noted that you did not want a 12th slot on this court, and you held that position up during the Bush years, but you did vote to fill the 9th, 10th, and 11th slots on this court for when you voted for Kavanaugh, Griffith, and Rogers Brown. Those are the positions you're trying to eliminate, so it has not been completely equitable, right? Because you did allow for these 3 judge positions when Bush was president.
You were right on the 9th and 10th, but the 11th seat really wasn't the 11th seat, because that was a seat that another judge had already resigned from. So that was really the 10th seat at that point. And you got to look at the fact that at that particular time, the caseload was a little higher than it is right now, but the caseload wasn't high enough to have a 12th judge, which President Bush wanted. So at that point, we eliminated the 12th seat. And now I have a bill in to eliminate 9, 10, and 11, and just eliminate one of them. But the other 2, we will put in circuits where they're more needed by caseload, and then President Obama can have the privilege of appointing judges there. So we are not denying him the right to appoint judges. It's just where he appoints them. And by the way, this isn't a new crusade for me, because when I was in the Senate in the 1990s and chairman of the court subcommittee, I did a lot of studies on the workloads of the various circuits and have made changes based upon those studies.